So we hear you're coming to Vegas. We're excited to be here with Todrick Hall. So tell us about what's exciting you about coming to Vegas.
I just love Vegas. I love performing there. When I first started performing, my brand was just very like chill. My brand was very, very Disney. And so I didn't really feel like I belonged in Vegas. But now I feel like my brand has grown so much that my fans have grown older with me as my brand has grown. So I'm really excited to come back now as an adult and have a show there.
Yeah, I mean, your resume is very impressive. From starting out as, I would imagine, just a small town in Texas, right? And
Yep.
then now growing to where you're at and your accolades and everything that you've done. I know that I've been watching you along the journey, and you've reached this level of caliber that you're selling out, and your tour is going all over the world. Can you tell us a little bit about the show and what people can expect when they see your show, Forbidden?
Yeah, it's the visual album live on stage, so it's very much so like if you go see a musical, except for I like to consider this show like the perfect hybrid of like a live musical theater experience to a live concert experience. It's the combination of the two of those, because while there is a story and while there is a storyline that you can follow, it definitely is a type of energy where you feel free to jump up and down and cheer and hoot and holler and sing along.
Is this a documentary-ish version of your life, or is this just something that is purely entertainment, has nothing to do with your personal story?
Sorry. Okay, so it's Forbidden Live, my latest album, which is a visual album. It's like 90 minutes on my YouTube channel, and it's like imagines America in this weird dystopian community where it is forbidden for people to be heterosexual, and it's forbidden, and social classes are different. So white people are a more second-class citizen, and black people are considered a more superior race. And it kind of follows the story of a man who falls in love with a woman in a world where that is forbidden and where it is an abomination. And it has fun, uplifting songs like "Them Beats," which has become like a gay anthem this
Love
year.
that.
But
Yeah.
the overall premise of the story just is, for me, a chance to make people try the shoe on the other foot and see what it would be like to have to come out as straight, or for white people to wonder what it must feel like to walk a day in an African American's shoes. That was my whole goal in making this album, and so we performed that live on stage. But it's done in a very creative way where I feel it doesn't make people feel uncomfortable watching it when they come watch the show, and I like that.
Yeah, intersectionality, being a person of color and also being a gay male, that's so important right now, more important than ever, especially with the political climate that we're living in, for you to open up eyes and change hearts, change minds. So on a personal level, thank you for being a leader in that arena and just moving the needle progress and forward. So we're so excited to see that. I'm so excited to be there. I'll be there watching you in the audience.
Thank you. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a really fun show.
So tell us a little bit. I grew up in Corpus Christi, so I'm a native Texan as well. What was it like for you growing up in Texas, especially rural Texas?
Growing up in Texas was very, very interesting for me because I was grew up in a very, very conservative household. But I had a mom who was really, really supportive of everything that I did and all of the things that I wanted to do and accomplish. And she really, really, really helped me to be able to think outside the box and to be okay with being different. And I never felt peer pressured or anything. But it was, it was a very, very, very difficult experience growing up, but I think that I had it the best that I could have possibly had it, being surrounded by the family members that I was and the close friends that I made in high school and through cheerleading and through doing musical theater and taking dance class. And so, I really love going to, when I'm touring through Texas and getting to talk to kids who are actually from the area I grew up in, because I know how hard that can be firsthand.
And speaking of your mom, I've seen the trailer for your new documentary coming out, and I'm so intrigued by the relationship between you and your mom. And tell us more about that documentary and what viewers are going to go along on that journey. We'll put a link to the trailer below, but just want to hear it from you on what that means to you.
Well, the documentary is very close to me. It's actually out on Netflix now, so anybody can watch it right now currently. It's called Behind the Curtain. And it basically, for me, I was really nervous about putting it out because it's the first time that I've shown myself 100% candid. You know, like I'm very good at becoming Michelle Obama when I need to be, and like making sure like reveal my secrets. But in that album, it shows me in the most raw and unedited version that I've ever shown people of me. But a lot of people come up to me and ask me how can they make a name for themselves on YouTube, and how can they build a brand from being from a small town in Texas. And that project, the documentary on Netflix, really shows people what it takes to be able to make a living being an online content creator, and what it takes to make a visual album like Straight Out of Oz, which we did, and to put that on a world tour, and what it takes, you know, like to be the boss of all these people and trying to organize everything and building a brand by yourself, which is what I've ultimately had to do because there weren't people who believed in me enough to give me the funding that I needed to make my dreams come true and really show what I felt like I was capable of. So I love that because I think it's inspiring and uplifting to anybody who is an up and coming creator. And,
you literally do everything. I mean, everything is like produced by, created by, like choreographed by, so it's cool. You're like a one-stop shop.
What do you think was your breakout moment that you're like, I made it? When do you look back and go, I made it? What was that moment for you?
Honestly, I don't know that I have those moments where I feel like I've made it, but for me, I love Broadway so much. So when I turned 20 years old and got to be in The Color Purple on Broadway, that was a moment where I felt like I'd made it. When I got a call from Beyonce to choreograph her Blow video for her last album, that was really, really a mind-boggling thing. But I have like little aha moments every now and then where there are things that I would have hoped and prayed that I would get to one day witness from the back row. And I walk in and they're like, come, you and your friends can come in for free and sit on the front row and meet the entire cast. And those are things that I would have never, ever in a million years dreamed that I would be able to experience. So I have like little moments every now and then, but I'm such a hustler and I'm always grinding and I'm always working. So I don't really feel like I've made it. And I love the fact that I set new goals for myself all the time. So I don't know that there will ever be a point, even if I won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony, that I would sit down and be like, I've made it. I think I would always find some way to be continuously challenging myself to do different, bigger, and greater things. But I don't know that that's a bad thing, and I don't know if it's a positive thing, because I think at some point, if you accomplish a lot in your career, you should be grateful for the things you've accomplished and be able to be happy with that. But I also feel like, what is an artist if they're not continuously growing and challenging themselves? So I toy with that concept and that conversation all the time. But right now, all I know is that my goal is to be happy, whether I feel like I've made it if I'm healthy, if I can afford all of the things that I want, if I'm able to perform and do what I want and make a living off of it and not have to do things that I don't want to do just so I can afford to live. And right now I do everything that I love to do and I get paid to do it. And so I consider myself to have made it because of that reason, not because of any specific accolades.
Oh, great. Are you going to get to spend any downtime while you're in Vegas?
I don't know if I'm going to get to spend any downtime. I think we have a day off there, and I will probably go see as many shows as I possibly can. I love that Vegas has shows like in the day, in the evening, and in the late hours, like at midnight, they're starting shows. So my goal is to try to see as many shows as I can see. I really want to see the Magic Mike show for obvious reasons. For research purposes. Yeah.
Well, let us know when you get here, and if we can make things happen for you, we'll put you in touch with the right people for sure.
I love that.
Is there anything else you want to plug while we're here? Anything that you want your fans or our readers to know? Any special things that are coming up in the near future that we can push toward you and make sure that you're successful in your endeavors?
No, I'm just grateful that you all are talking about this. Forbidden is really important to me. Behind the Curtain is the thing that I feel like if someone is not familiar with my work, that would be a good place to start because they can see the hard work that goes in behind it and get to know my family and why I am the crazy, quirky person that I am now. And I hope the audience in Vegas enjoys the show.
Cool. Well, we look forward to having you here. I'm sure the rest of the world is ready for you and so excited to have you visit their city. You can get a whole list of where you're going on your website. and we'll also link that below. We're just thankful that we have somebody like you in the world that is being creative, really pushing forward social injustices and bringing them to light and creating a better world and a better place for not only the LGBTQ community, but people of color. And so we're very happy that you took the time out today to speak with us and to just be in our lives for this short period of time. Grateful. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. That's very sweet of you to say. I really appreciate it. And I hope I get to meet you at the Vegas show.
We'll be there.
All right. Talk soon.